Tim Burton has made so many iconic movies over the years, but out of all of them, Beetlejuice is my favourite, which says a lot coming from me considering he made Batman. And I adore that movie. But no, it's Beetlejuice. It's just too much fun not to be.
Thank you. Woo! That is why I won't do 2 shows a night anymore, babe. I won't do. Well, what do we got here tonight, kids?
And I know someone else who loves Beetlejuice just as much as me. I am joined today by the one, the only, faceless Phantom.
It's Phantom Reviewer, you idiot.
Yeah, whatever.
You are a terrible host.
But what is not terrible is Beetlejuice.
And here's why.
Before we jump into the story, I just want to say we are going to spoil the shit out of this movie. So if you haven't seen it and care about spoilers, you have been warned. Beetlejuice is a story about a couple who shuffle off this mortal coil and head into the wacky world of the afterlife.
They are Adam and Barbara, played respectively by Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin.
I love the way this movie makes light of death, and even the way they die is played up for comic effect.
Yeah, with the dog standing on the plank, and then he jumps off, and then the car goes in. It's very slapsticky.
Which sets the tone for the movie perfectly. They then walk home and make the startling discovery that they are no longer among the living. The big tip-off being finger candles, and receiving a copy of the handbook for the recently deceased, which they glimpse through but never actually read. If I died and got one of those, I'd be studying it cover to cover.
Maybe they're just not big readers?
To be fair, I say I would. I hate instruction books. I always end up arguing with them.
I told you to just follow the steps and the table will stay up.
Oh, I think I know better than a silly little book.
Oh, whatever, you idiot. Let's just get back to the movie.
Oh, fine. Just when they think they have nothing to worry about, a new family moves in.
Say hello to the Dietz family.
Hello.
That was figurative, you moron!
Then don't set me up like that.
Oh, God, now I'm remembering why I don't do these crossovers very often.
Yeah, I love you too. But the Dietz family move in and do the unthinkable. Redecorate!
Bring back hanging, that's what I say.
To be fair, it does look hideous, and they are trapped for the rest of eternity with this horrific decor without ever being able to leave the house. Is there any worse fate?
Have you not seen Hellraiser?
Yeah, fair point, I forgot about Hellraiser. That would be worse. In any case, they need to evict the living from their home, so they follow the handbook and go to get help.
This is where we see in the afterlife you are assigned a caseworker that, helps you out through whatever you're going through, adjusting to the afterlife, but if you commit suicide, then you become a civil servant. Not worth it.
The designs of everyone here in this afterlife, office, whatever place, just amazing. I love how their caseworker smokes, and you can see the smoke coming out of her neck wound. Or this guy, who clearly died by being burnt to death, then says he's trying to cut down on smoking. Actually, that's a question. If everyone's character design is supposed to visually represent how they died, whether by suicide or not, why don't Adam and Barbara look any different?
I mean, they did die by drowning, and Tim Burton thought maybe they wouldn't want to walk around all wet and stuff. That would be very uncomfortable for them.
And personally, I don't mind. Even though they are dead, and technically should look different, keeping them the same helps make them stand out more to the audience.
Which was a good idea, to be honest. I mean, these are our main characters, and we're seeing this world through their eyes.
Well, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
They ask for help for getting the new residents out, but their caseworker says that they should do it themselves.
Well, that's helpful. They were also told not to call upon the dreaded Beetlejuice, who has been calling out to them offering his services as a bio-exorcist, in some very fun and heavily marketable adverts.
Yahoo! Having trouble with a living? You tired of having your home space violated? You want to get rid of them pesky living critters once and for all? Well, come on down and see me, folks, because I'm the afterlife's leading bio-exorcist. Yes, sir. Come on down here, and I want to tell you, I'll do anything.
Also, like and subscribe. You know what I mean?
The caseworker explains that Beetlejuice used to be her assistant, and he went on his own and generally isn't a very nice person.
But essentially, Barbara and Adam suck at haunting people and call Beetlejuice for help by saying his name 3 times.
They get sucked into the model that they made, and they meet the ghost with the most, himself.
Whenever Michael Keaton is on screen, he is just amazing.
He has so much energy and charisma. I mean, he was born to play this role.
It never gets old watching him, and even Keaton said that this is his favourite role that he has ever gotten to play.
Which explains why it's so good. I mean, when an actor really gets into their role, it stands out in their performance.
It is crazy good, and what makes it even better is that he ad-libbed 90% of the dialogue, so even the crew didn't know what he was going to say next. Which helps make the believability of the character even more impactful. Well, by that I mean his performance is believable. The character himself is goofy, insane, and utterly brilliant.
Hey, this might be a good look for me.
So Beetlejuice offers his help, but it goes a little bit too far, and they gotta call it off.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here! Nice fucking model!
Which is where Beetlejuice spots Lydia, who is the only living person they have met that can see the dead. Well, outside of a deliberate haunting anyway. It's just they don't seem to know how to make themselves visible to the living in order to actually scare them. And she can see all of this strange and unusual stuff because she is herself strange and unusual.
If you're going to butcher the line, you might as well just play the clip.
Oh, fine.
Well, I read through that handbook for the recently deceased. It says, live people ignore the strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual.
Beetlejuice decides to take advantage of this trait and wishes to marry her, because when married, it will mean he is no longer bound by the world of the afterlife and can freely roam among the living. So if you're dead, you're stuck in the afterlife unless you tie the matrimonial knot, and then you can go back to kind of being alive again? Seems a little arbitrary.
Hey, he doesn't make the rules.
I want out for good. In order for me to do that, hey, I gotta get married.
Hey, these aren't my rules. Come to think of it, I don't have any rules.
And I just want to take a moment to clear something up. The movie never states Lydia's age, but she is around 16 years old. So yes, we have a several hundred-year-old ghost wanting to marry a teenage girl. Which on the face of it doesn't sound nice. Like at all. It's gross. But don't make the mistake of thinking it's about Beetlejuice liking her or wanting to actually be with her. It's purely to get into the world of the living and live again as a human.
Think of it as a marriage of inconvenience, okay?
However, since he was banished from the house, he's gonna need to be resummoned.
After terrorizing the living as a giant snake monster? Why the hell would you resummon him?
Ah, my dear friend, you are forgetting about the inherent shittiness of the human race. The Dietz family have not so much been scared by the supernatural as enticed by the profits they can reap with having real ghosts in their home. So they have used the handbook that they have swiped from the attic and called upon our two ghostly leads and seemingly trapped them, which appears to be, despite them being dead already, killing them.
I always forget about the inherent shittiness of the human race.
Trust me, I have seen enough man-meddling with nature films to know monetary exploitation when I see it. That and I play a lot of Ubisoft games.
So in order to save them, Lydia makes a deal with Beetlejuice. Help them, and she will marry him.
It's showtime.
He runs amok through the house and holds up his end by helping Barbara and Adam.
But they keep trying to stop this goofy, over-the-top and hilarious wedding by saying his name 3 times.
Beetlejuice!
Which ends with Barbara crashing through the ceiling on a sandworm that eats Beetlejuice up.
Well, naturally. Beetlejuice gets a shrunken-head in a waiting room.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, stop it! Hey, you're messing up here! Come on! Whoa! Whoa! Stop it! Whoa!
The Dietz family coexist with Barbara and Adam, and they all have a happy ending.
Sounds like Lydia got an A in the math test.
He likes it.
And the moral of the story is, don't fix something until you know it's broken.
What are you talking about?
Well, think about it. They die and are stuck in this house. A new family moves in with horrible interior decorating tastes, and thus they go on a crazy adventure recruiting a madman to help them solve their problem, with the ultimate solution being it was no problem at all. They were happy to live together.
Oh yeah, but it was still fun though.
Well yeah, damn straight it was fun. The acting, the set design, and the stop motion animation were all fantastic. And even, dare I say it, blended to perfection. And I don't use the word blended lightly.
You forgot the singing. Wherever they break out into songs singing Banana Boat, it's brilliant. Especially that scene where they try to scare the Dietz family during dinner. And they possess them and each of the actors starts lip syncing. It's just so good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And interestingly, it's this scene that Burton was worried about. He didn't think it was that funny and was concerned audiences wouldn't enjoy it. But then it became one of the most iconic scenes in the movie.
Overall, I give Beetlejuice 10 out of 10. Wait, that was more than 10. Shit!
Beetlejuice has to be the easiest 10 out of 10 I've ever given. There is nothing that lets this film down. It is crazy, over the top, ludicrous, and just a blast. This movie is just incredible. All the characters are just so much fun to watch. They all have something unique about them, especially the Dietz family. Winona Ryder plays Lydia so well, with her character arc being that she is a loner that feels like an outsider within her own family. But then it ends with the two families coming together, which gives Lydia her true home.
And is this happy ending that I love so much kind of makes the movie stand out from just being a typical gothic comedy, you know?
And Catherine O'Hara, who plays Delia, who is just so full of herself, I love it. She is trying to make it as an artist, but based on a few backhanded comments, isn't doing as well as she'd hoped. Her acting is on point. The look she gives her husband are pure comedy gold. Granted, the husband Charles, played by Jeffrey Jones, is probably the least interesting. His whole thing is that he wants peace and quiet, and hates that his wife has expensive tastes. Admittedly, it is a very dated joke now, but it still works. And while he was definitely my least favourite of the three, he was still a fun character. And technically not a Dietz, but I have to mention Otho, played by Glenn Shaddix. Such a fun character. He is the decorator, and he is so far up himself, he's probably looking for the light switch.
They were all great. But is it fair to say that we both agree that Michael Keaton stole the show?
Oh yes, absolutely, 100%. It is a movie that we both love and will never get tired of. And with that said, you have been watching Good or Bad.
And I'm the Phantom Reviewer, where my hell is to review.
Thank you so much for watching today's video, and thank you to the Phantom Reviewer for joining me here today. Please check his channel out, his videos are brilliant. See you next time.